Welcome to this explainer, where we're going to break down exactly how Spain secured their spot in the 2026 World Cup final with just an absolutely dominant 2-0 victory over France down in Dallas. This was billed as the unstoppable force against the immovable object. But honestly, by the final whistle, it was totally one-sided.
Right out of the gate, we have to tackle the massive question everyone is asking today. Is this the greatest Spanish team in history? Seriously, after claiming their second ever trip to a World Cup final, this squad is practically demanding to be compared to those legendary 2010 champions. That iconic 2010 team won it all in Johannesburg, sure, but 16 years later, this modern iteration of La Roja just put on a performance so commanding, so flawless, that people are literally wondering if the current roster is actually better. So let's get into Section 1, the semifinal showdown. Spain 2, France 0. To really grasp the magnitude of Sunday's result, we kind of have to look at the broader context of this intense European rivalry. This was definitely not just a random matchup. I mean, just look at how this has built up over the last few years. For 3 consecutive major tournaments, Spain has completely asserted their dominance over Le Blesse. Back in the 2024 Euros, it was a tight 2-1 victory. Then the 2025 Nations League gave us that absolute 5-4 thriller. But 2026, a 2-0 shutout on the biggest stage imaginable. It's obvious Spain has cultivated this massive psychological and tactical edge. They haven't just beaten France, they've totally figured out how to neutralize them. Which brings us to Section 2, Spain's tactical masterclass, fluidity, control, and execution. Going into the match, France was widely considered the absolute best team at the tournament. But manager Luis de la Fuente orchestrated a game plan that made them look second best in literally every department. And you really see that dominance reflected in the individual performances. The sheer volume of near-perfect player ratings proves Spain controlled every single blade of grass. In the midfield, Rodri earned a 9 out of 10 for completely dictating the tempo. He just ran the show. Beside him, Dani Olmo was weaving absolute magic in tight spaces, also grabbing a 9 for his delicate touches and a crucial assist. In defense, Pau Cubarsí was a total rock, reading the game superbly for his 9. And up front, teenager Lamine Yamal got an 8 out of 10 for just running the French defense ragged. De La Fuente squeezed every last ounce of talent out of his roster. The execution out there was just flawless. It all kicked off in the 22nd minute when Lamine Yamal drew a massive penalty from Lucas Digne, which set up Mikel Oyers the ball to step up and bury this unstoppable penalty kick. Fast forward to the 58th minute, and Pedro Porro combines beautifully with Dani Olmo on the edge of the box, firing a really composed, brilliant strike past Mike Maignan. Spain didn't just hold possession, they weaponized it. And Pedro Porro, who totally deserved being voted the superior player of the match, by the way, captured the team's relentless focus perfectly. Right after the game, he basically said it's a dream come true, and emphasized that Spain knew exactly what they had to do to counter France's strengths. It wasn't luck, right? It was pure, calculated strategy executed to absolute perfection. But, sports is a game of 2 halves and 2 teams. So let's look at Section 3. France fails to fire. The misfire in Dallas. We have to talk about a French side that completely stalled out. Remember, this was a team that marched through the knockout stages without conceding a single goal. They came into Dallas brimming with confidence, only to hit a brick wall. The contrast between the 2 squads is just wild. While Spain's attack was vibrant and decisive, the French superstars were kept entirely anonymous. Think about this. Despite his usual absolute brilliance, French captain Kylian Mbappé was kept entirely quiet against Spain's organized defense. The service to him was completely cut off, his runs were tracked, and the rest of the attackers just couldn't connect. Throw in Digne conceding that costly penalty, and it was just a collective failure for Le Bleu. Now for Section 4, rewriting the record books. History made in Dallas. The crucial takeaway here is that this wasn't just a great win, it was a performance that absolutely obliterated the history books. We are witnessing a team statistically cementing itself as one of the most dominant forces in the history of international football. For starters, Spain has now gone an unbelievable 37 games without defeat across all competitions. 37! That officially matches Italy's untouchable European record set between October 2018 and September 2021. We're talking 28 wins and 9 draws. That level of resilience is practically unheard of in the modern game. They also became the very first team in FIFA World Cup history to keep 6 clean sheets at a single edition of the tournament. Goalkeeper Unai Simon, along with that backline of Laporte, Cubarsí, and Cucurella,
They've effectively built a fortress. Shutting out world-class opposition 6 times in a grueling World Cup schedule, that is a testament to insane defensive discipline.
And speaking of defense, they restricted France to just 0.3 expected goals. I really want to let that sink in. 0.3. That is the lowest expected goals faced by any nation in a World Cup semifinal tie since Brazil played Sweden way back in 1994. They didn't just beat France. They completely suffocated their ability to even create a dangerous chance. It was a total shutdown. So, Section 5, the ultimate prize awaits. Looking to the horizon, with France dispatched and the records shattered, La Roja now looks toward the ultimate prize. The semi-final hurdle is officially cleared, but the journey for both these teams technically continues into the weekend. For France, their tournament isn't quite over. They're heading to Miami Stadium for the third-place match on Saturday, July 18th. They'll face the loser of the other blockbuster semi-final between England and Argentina. It's a chance to salvage some pride as they close out their run. But let's be real, absolutely all eyes will be on the New York-New Jersey Stadium this Sunday, July 19th at 3 p.m. Eastern. Spain will clash with either England or Argentina in what promises to be just a titanic final. Whether it's an incredibly talented English squad or a fiercely determined Argentina, Spain is going to face an absolute gauntlet.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. Who's going to lift that trophy in New York? Will this unstoppable Spanish armada, riding a 37-game unbeaten streak and armed with a tactical masterclass, actually reclaim the glory of 2010? Or will a new challenger step up and shatter their historic streak on the game's biggest stage? Honestly, Sunday cannot get here fast enough. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and enjoy the final.